Hey guys, Coach Jay here. I'm a sports mental performance coach living down here in Ponte Vedra, Florida, and wanted just to talk about that Miami game. I'm still mourning that game. It was a difficult loss. Um, Full transparency, I do work with one of the quarterbacks on that team, and that's all I'm going to say about it. I'm not going to say too much, but I believe that Miami was going to win. I thought they were going to win. They believed they were going to win from their practices that they had, the way they were scheming things. Everything was lined up, and the reality is that it's hard to win games when your kicker can't make field goals, and it's hard to win games when on your special teams they don't block one of the guys coming in. They gave him free 7 points right there. Um, I will say that Mendoza was a Superman on that 4th and 5 play. I think that Signati, his ability to be methodical and just call that play, it was perfect timing. That play had worked against Miami against Georgia Tech earlier in the year, little quarterback draw, and hats off to Indiana. They played an amazing game, but I'm still, I know, like a lot of you know, that game was the one that got away, and it's hard. It's hard. It's hard when they get away, and then obviously the nail in the coffin was uh, Miami got the ball with a minute and a half left. They were driving down the field, had a good drive going, and with the short intermediate passes, and then at the end, Carson Beck did he made a bad decision, and he went for the big hit, and they still had plenty of time. They had all the momentum. Malachi Tony was sitting right over the middle, and he was open, and so bad judgment, just bad judgment. And I feel bad for Carson, and that will be one that he will never forget. And he'll think about that every day for the rest of his life. But all that being said, at the end of the day, these losses are tough. Um, all my clients that I work with, when their teams lose, it hurts, and it's taken me a few days to kind of get over this one, and it's difficult. And but in the end, what we wanted was a good game, and we got a good game, and that game came down to about 4 or 5 plays. It wasn't just Carson's interception that lost the game; that was the final nail in the coffin. But clearly, he wishes he could get that one back. And, I'm not here to blame anybody. These are young men. They are in their 20s. They are young men, and they are being compensated. So they're not rec league kids out there playing a game, and you can't say anything. You're entitled to be critical, and but at the same time, you got to look in the mirror at yourself and see how you're doing. And these guys are all elite warriors, both sides of the ball. They've all trained very hard, and we were blessed to have an amazing game. And then in the end, it was a great game. A lot of people thought Indiana was going to blow them out. It just didn't happen. And Miami really had every opportunity to win that game, and they did not. So I'm it was a tough game, tough night. It took me a long time to go to bed that night, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are like it. So all this being said, I am a mental performance coach. I live down in Florida. I do work with a ton of Atlanta kids because I'm from Atlanta. I'm a big Atlanta Braves guy. At one point, I was working with a lot of those guys, um, and I'm working with a lot of high school athletes. I work with a lot of teenagers, helping them get on to the next level so they can play sports. Also work with a ton of college athletes. But we're done with football for now. We're in the baseball season, and so I'm really excited about that, and it should be a good season. So if you want to find me, I'm listed at sportsintervention.com. Also can be found at Psychology Today. I'm listed as Coach J down in Ponte Vedra, Jacksonville, Florida. And then I'm on X as College Scout FB. So God bless.